Ben Keeney, Ollie Fonseca, and Benjamin Nelson. If Jason Tamer does return back, the 81 will carry his L1 to that race. But up front, Shane Terrian going to be that front driver. Like you said, Justin, Zach Hall pushes forward. That whole entire outside lane gets to advance forward in their spot on the line. Tonight's race going to be 150 laps. Competition caution at the end of lap 40, unless we have a caution before then that will count as our competition caution. And as well, got to be thinking about those fast repairs. They got none. They got to protect this vehicle as much as possible. They also have 5 sets of tires in pit road, but that fuel window, 61 to 63 laps, we'll see after our competition yellow if we're able to worry about green flag pit stops. The field's set. They're ready for racing action. The WSSR Ropes to the Gems Cup Series, Season 8, Race 3, New Hampshire 150 is underway as the drivers roar down into turn number 1 and already calamity. Drivers wrecking right at the immediate start, and it's wheel spin that causes the back of the field to have major issues.
Yeah, no. We didn't even get to lap 1 there, Sam. There's cars already sideways on the front straightaway. We're gonna bring it to you here in a second and see exactly how it happened. What broke down? Maybe someone trying to get into his second gear, restarting it first, could have lighted up those rear tires and just instantly spun it.
I think we have to let the pace car go.
I believe it was around James Heater, Nick Alves. Drivers got into the restart zone. Some took off. Others had a delayed launch for themselves, and some drivers were taking off when they saw a green light instead of taking off when they saw the driver ahead of them taking off and causing calamity immediately when this race started. Some drivers with some pretty massive damage, but luckily, because it was at the initial start of the race, not big enough collisions that any drivers have required damage, so they should be able to get that damage repaired and back out there on track. Big scare, Justin, to start the race up, but that's what New Hampshire is. Big wheel spin, this bigger horse-powered ARCA machine. You never know on these restarts. We had the same issue last season when we first moved over to the Gen 4s of restart incidences, and they carry over here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's pretty much think you're sitting at a red light and you see the light turn green and you light them up, but you don't light it up at 900 horsepower. These things don't want to go on cold tires. They're just going to sit there and spin, and that's what we saw. And the accordion effect happened where some people started going, one car didn't get to go, and maybe someone got on the brakes, and then before you know it,
told me to pass the pace car.
This is such a narrow front straightaway that you just have nowhere to go. And luckily it happened towards the back, so we didn't have too many cars involved like you mentioned.
We do have a report, though, driver having some internet issues. Douglas Newbigging not able to stay connected to the server. He has been disconnected. The 7 is already 1 lap down, hoping to get back into the server, but that is highly unfortunate for Douglas Newbigging, who's now going to have to figure out how to come back next week, which next week is not going to be an easier track. Drivers had to go Watkins Glen road course racing for himself, but Douglas Newbigging's trying to get reconnected back into the server, and luckily the yellow flag was here. But Justin, big thing, this caution, because it was on lap 1, it doesn't matter if it's on lap 1, but if any yellow pops up before lap 40, that counts as our competition yellow. So there it will no longer be a comp yellow from this point on.
Yeah, comp yellow over with, and you never know. Things could settle down. Last week in Texas, maybe if you were watching, you were thinking this might turn into a wreck fest, and the first 40, 50 laps, kind of a little bit like that, and then it settled right in, and we had ourselves a really fine race at the end. It came down to fuel, and I hope everyone was able to watch it, because last week was great, and we're expecting another really good one here. I think it's going to settle down. Sam, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm expecting the same thing, for it to settle down at some point. The question is, when will we see that settle down? It didn't take the drivers at Texas until we almost got to halfway through the race when they started to finally calm down and then attack and kind of go into those long green flag runs and have enough spacing for one another. Tonight, it might take a little bit longer. We'll see how this restart's going to handle, though, as you see the pace car pull up into the restart zone. Here we go again at New Hampshire. Shane Terry and Zach Hall going to be taking up as we are green for now and setting it down into the corner. Drivers are given the awaiting point for themselves as Shane Terry, great launch for himself. Off the exit turn 2 and the 9, feeling comfortable for himself in this moment. The rest of the field trying to just make it salvageable through one corner.
Yeah, we see already going halfway down the back straightaway. Cars starting to get a little single filed in front 2, 3. Starting to give each other space. It looks like they're going to make it through this first lap really clean. Drivers are maybe starting to settle in now, and we'll get this race underway here. I think we got 145 still to go, though, Sam.
very weird. Might have been wondering, why did the green flag just pop up now? There was a very bizarre, because that first yellow, the time that it came out, the drivers were not given a yellow, a green flag until now. For the whole entire field, just had their whole entire, all a bunch of black flags cleared. It was a very awkward scenario, but we want to give a huge shout out to our race control, Steve Benjamin, able to fix this issue for the drivers. Otherwise, this could have been a bigger mess than it was. That is not a mistake on our end. That's an iRacing thing that just popped up. That's why the green flag came up a lap later from when the drivers actually took off.
Yeah, those computer glitches happen, but I did notice the 9 car running really high up there. Gonna have to keep a note of that, see if he has speed up there, or if he maybe just clicked the corner or spec, but he was running up there in that third lane in that corner, and that was a little interesting. And we're still side by side here, which is surprising. I thought they would be a little settling down here. We see the 13 get a little loose in the corner there. You notice that, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly are trying to hold on. The 13 to Cedric Connors getting a little bit of a scare. Also seeing Isaiah Sutherland in that Jeff Gordon flame scheme, trying to make his way forward as quickly as they can, but this rear end's not feeling comfortable up the exit of the corner at this current time. Douglas Newbigin, you can see the fastest lap is back in the session. 3 laps down is the 7 machine. But Isaiah Sutherland had a computer freeze last week right before the race started. The 14 is very happy to be able to be taking the green here in the first 7 laps of tonight's race.
Yeah, that worked out great for Isaiah to get in here, get points, get settled back in. And just to mention for anyone watching Douglas Newbigin, he's back in 3 laps down. You might be thinking, okay, that's bad, but hey, 3 cautions, 3 lucky dogs, and he's right back in it. And one of the good things is maybe he's right now not in the middle of everything. He's out there kind of just being able to run his own race.
And also for the some of these drivers out here, they're just happy that they made it through that first initial start of the race. That first wreck was not comfortable for themselves, as seeing some drivers making their ways forward. Anthony Gaudio in the 29 machine currently trying to make his way forward. He's falling back a couple positions as he's being passed by Brian P. Johnson, who's up 6 spots. Brian P. Johnson really moving his way forward. Another driver that's moving forward is Cody Reed with that of the 28, as Cody Reed's working that outside lane, trying to get by Brendan Colley, and almost gets into the 1 machine. Great save, and a big scare for the 1 of Colley, who's had some terrible luck the start of this season at Daytona, caught up in a wreck under pacing, and then Wilson was caught up in a couple of wrecks last week at Texas. Another scare, but luckily holds on. It's the 52.
Yeah, that was a really nice save. We talked about the wheel spin coming out of the corner. We talked about how much horsepower is in these cars. That was a really wonderful job. As we're seeing right now, Anthony Gaudio under pressure from 2 cars behind him. We got our Daytona 500 winner right there, Brian Johnson, right behind Anthony Gaudio, but also has pressure from the 20. There's battles going all over this track. These drivers are doing a really great job right now. We know how hard this track is to pass on, and we talk about the progressive banking and just trying to be able to stay underneath someone. And just, we're going to see the 2 car here. He's going to have to get on the brakes a little harder and get down to the bottom. And you can see the cars bouncing as they get on that braking, and that also upsets the car. Sam, when you see that, what are you thinking as a driver?
I mean, drivers certainly are they hung bump. Otherwise, they can find themselves sliding up a little bit too aggressively, but ultimately staying stable is always the key. A lot of drivers also messing with their brake bias is a big thing that they work on going into these corners, and some drivers not working on their brake bias as much as it's right on board with Danny Cochran in the 2, trying to find his way to move forward to stay inside of our top 15, and seeing these great side-by-side battles all around the 2. Also wrapping around that middle groove, because he's being pressured by Brian Noel and the 77 dudes inside.
Yeah, we see Brian Noel right there on the inside. It's a nice move to get underneath him and come out of the corner even, which is great, because then down the straightaway, if you can do that the same thing that you did in the previous corner, as we see the 77 doing, he's able to clear him now. Just keep working on him about a half a car length each lap, and he got by him. And I think that's smart on both drivers. 2, recognizing that it's a little early in the race. Let's just settle in and get that spot in and not let anyone behind him get any closer. He has that little bit of gap behind him. That's important. Sometimes when you do get past, make it easy so that you don't let another car come up to you, because then you could be risking losing another spot.
Another big passes early on. Larry Yingling waiting for no one, up 7 spots to give him the lead. It's the 67, the last driver to win this race. Back in season 6. Now he's back very comfortable. Larry Yingling dominated back in Season 6. He led 133 laps of 143 during that race. The 67 is back to where he feels most comfortable. Clean air, running up front, being the pace setter for himself. And an odd thing I just saw through 3 and 4, the 13 is Cedric Hunter. I don't know if he's been doing that all race long. Through 3 and 4, he was riding on the apron trying to get a good exit off the corner.
Yeah, Sam, I'm happy that you called it out, because this track, after 15, 20 laps, we're starting to see you really could move around, especially over in turns 3 and 4, where we're right now. We're seeing it right now. He's getting down below that yellow line. It's flatter down there, but you're getting below the bumps coming in the corner, and that helps keep the car stable. And coming out, you're able to, with the way the angles work, you're able to get to the power a little bit sooner coming out at 3 and 4. It doesn't seem to work as well in 1 and 2, but he's going to get down there and prove me wrong, which I love. But 3 and 4, I really think we're going to be on board here. You're going to call this. It's going to be great. Here we go.
Yes, credit 13. Cedric Hunter is going to dive it down low and try to get onto this concrete. See that lighter surface. It's the concrete surface. It's allowing the 13. Trying to gas it back up. And there's a high risk when you go down to that apron. You saw that transition going from the flat apron to the pink corner. Find yourself some easy trouble in it with that type of a movement, and you're not expecting a little bit of a bobble moving back on the racing surface. But there's the wheelmanship, counter steering off the exit of the corner, trying to keep this vehicle pointed straight. It's Cedric Hunter surviving for now. That last lap,
I may have the wrong steering ratio.
Hunter, as he continues to run on the apron, trying to set up a pass on Isaiah Sutherland. Other drivers deeper in the field, some major issues collecting up for Nicholas Workessel. Workessel, who was finding himself with some heavy damage, got into the outside wall of the exit of 4, and drivers out 18 laps into this run, starting to feel a little bit of trouble. And oh, speaking of trouble, caution flag is out, and it's drivers behind this 45. It's Ben Keeney as well as going to be seeing the 44 and the 25 with the major damage.
Yeah, we've seen that one car right there with a little bit of damage right there shoved in the nose. That could be really hard. It looks like that's the 44. That could be trouble, Sam. You don't want to have that, and we've seen it on the 25 there in the front left too.
And that's going to be James Goffin in the 25. It looked like he was running in lower line. This is after that incident had happened, and looked like the 25, because you see here, just goes down low, moves up in front of the 44, kind of breaks in the center of the corner. Well, Nick Alves tries to gas it up, hard contact, and both drivers find themselves getting spun around and bringing out our second caution of the day. And for Ben Keeney, able to stay out of trouble, he'll slow down just in time before catching up to that incident.
Yeah, that incident, that's that product. Maybe the 25 there kind of maybe slid down in the corner and then came back up, and the 44 was just at that point where he was getting ready to gas it up. It happened so fast, and they just make that slight contact. But we have pit stops coming. Most of them are coming in. We're seeing 1 or 2 cars maybe staying out, but everyone wants to get those tires here at lap 19. Got 5 sets, like you mentioned, so we're going to be down to 4 for majority of the teams out there.
And it's not a bad decision to come in now, use up one of those sets, especially when you know, hey, if you leave long green flag run, this race could turn into a 2-stop type of a run from here on out. So not a bad call to hit pit road. Also of note, Ross Tatum, 21, deciding to stay out on track. Maybe one of the few drivers that did so, but the battle off pit road, give it to Zach Hall in the 32, taking 2 tires, as well as Brian P. Johnson, 2 tires for themselves. Rest of the field, 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, this is going to give us, the viewers here, a really good idea of how much tires matter versus clean air. It's going to be really neat now to see. I mean, we do have 3 different strategies. We got complete old tires, we got 2 tires, and we got 4. And we're also going to have a little bit of different fuel, because I'm imagining maybe Zach Hall, I'm assuming he probably filled it up, but don't know for certain. But we do know that 21 definitely already has 20 laps of fuel burned.
Yeah, it's that call. When you take those 2 tires, you're fueling it up, as well as taking tires. Ross Tatum wanting to stay out, recognizing, hey, this race could turn into a little bit more cautions, could build up. So let's just stay out, get the bonus points of leading a lap, have this track position, and good knowledge to grab in these first 20 laps. Still have 130 laps to go here this evening. Might as well try something a little bit risky, I would say, Justin, for these drivers, when you know you have time to rebound later on in this race.
Yeah, I think Brian was running back in like 11th or 12th, we mentioned when we were watching him a little earlier. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. If he's able to stay in the top 10, by the next pit stop, we'll know it worked off for him. And if not, then it's still worth the gamble. It's always better to be front row than to be back in the middle or the back. I mean, less chances of an accident you would imagine up front. But you never know. Lightning can strike anywhere.
It certainly can. And also you saw the 7 machine getting its lap back, but that of Douglas Newbigging down to just 2 laps down. Rest of the field still on the lead lap. Drivers staying into pit road for extended time to get damage repair. Cameron Sarton, as well as Nick Alves, James Heater, Dakota Moniz, James Kaufman, and Nicholas Caressel going to be getting some extra damage repair. Update on Benjamin Nelson and Ollie Fonseca, who had to start deeper in the field. They've been the highest movers of those that had an EOL L1 penalty. Benjamin Nelson, Ollie Fonseca up to 24th and 25th position. These cautions are helping out. They're hoping that maybe they can get a little bit more spacing moving forward, but just showing even when they are fast drivers, it's tough to get through this field with the amount of traffic there is here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire, I would say all tracks are hard to pass at, but this is definitely one of the harder tracks to pass at. It's just being so flat. We saw Cedric Hunter going down below the apron, trying to find places to pass, and we talked about the 9 running high in one corner, just testing out the grooves. I mean, you can run all over this track pretty much, except right up against the wall. But with the progressive banking, you're able to make moves as we're getting the pace car ready to pull off here, and we're going to bring the action right back.
As we get ourselves back to racing here tonight, Ross Statham, old tires, 20-lap difference, and they are already going to be green flag for the 21 machine. A great launch for himself. That inside row taking off cleanly. Very Yingling going to be right on the inside quarter panel for second, Link says. At 67, not wasting any time. Already going to be challenging for the lead position. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. A little bit of a wiggle and a slip, but it's going to be the drivers on the inside lane making the moves big time. Yingling, Shane Terry, and Zach Hall, really not much movement for himself, as there are going to be more 3 wide as Ross Tatum just falls quickly, going backwards. Those old tires showing this is a bad decision maybe for the long run. We got those quick bonus points for the 21.
Yeah, Ross opened that elevator door and you pressed down.
Entry turn 1. Drivers are scattering around one another. See the 6, Brad Delph, and others spun around on the entry of the corner and talked about how the braking can be difficult. I think this is one of those moments where the braking situation collapsed on the field on the entry of turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like maybe we had 3 drivers in that. The 56, I don't think he was in it. I think the damage was able to be saved. As we can see right here,
watch out for the 12.
Booked.
Yeah, it's going to be this 12 machine to watch out for. That's going to be Justice Murphy. It's going to be coming off the exit of turn 4.
Pit road.
The drivers are going to be entering turn 4, looking good, but the slide up from the 12, it's going to get them on the outside wall here. It's a little bit of a mistake. Bam, just hit, slid, and then from here on out, it's just reactionary of everyone scattering around one another.
Yeah, the 41 was so close to making it through, and then a little bit of airborne there. Wow, the 6 definitely took a lot of damage. He got hit 2-3 times like a ping pong. Here comes the 12. Yeah, we got 4 or 5 cars in that. I mean, that's not going to be good. We probably have a little bit of lengthy repairs on some of these guys.
But I think the one driver happy to see this yellow, probably Ross Tatum, maybe coming to pit road, get some service done. But Brad Delph involved in that. He also saw Benjamin Nelson, a huge driver that's involved in that issue. Rich Wolfsburg coming in late. And now our 3rd caution of the day. Going to be having these drivers settling in. Who's going to take that damage repair? They were expecting, like you said, 4 to 5 people coming into pit road at least to get damage repair.
Yeah, you're going to want to get it all fixed as best as you can. Ross right now, Ross Tatum, he's definitely happy. He's going to give up that track position, no problem, go on both those 4 fresh ones and try and recover. But we do want to mention Brandon Newbigging, Brian Newbigging. He's going to be 1 lap down. Douglas. All right, viewers, I'm still learning all their names. I can't wait to get them all down pat, but he's going to be getting close to being back on his lead lap. He was 3, then 2, now he's going to be 1. And he doesn't have damage. He's going to be in nice shape, so never give up. He's going to be in good shape, I think, here. We'll get one more caution. We're going to be watching him come through the field.
Yeah, I'm excited to see once Douglas gets back onto the lead lap again. Really didn't have a chance for himself. But hey, let's take a look at the weather conditions for tonight's race. Outside ambient temperature going to be 83 degrees. The track temp, though, 92 degrees. Seeing the wind around that 7 miles per hour window. and heading in the north direction currently, kind of shifting back and forth between north and northeast. But Justin, that weather, 92 now has dropped down to 91.
How much is the audio
track temp is going to be one of those factors also what's helping out with that sliding effect.
Yeah, the hot track, tires are going to get hot, they're going to slip, slide. That we saw 15 lap tires only on the 21, and we saw him drop. He through the first corner, he was back to 4th or 5th, and he was just up on that high line, and cars were feeding underneath him. He's happy to see that caution, but is proof that tires are going to matter. We know it's hard to pass, but tires are definitely going to matter. You're going to want to get your track position down. You're not going to want to end up starting 20th because you didn't take tires and fell through the field.
Man, we're going green.
But you also can't burn through every set of tires, Sam. You can't just put them on every time.
Absolutely not. It's got to be that patience game. Which caution at what moment? Maybe they've calculated a caution flag it's here. I'll take tires, and always thinking about the audible call of how do I change up my mentality and also strategy throughout the night. Drivers that did come into pit road, though, going to be drivers all the way back in 27th. That's where we find Ross Tatum, but 28th on back. Drivers are still coming in periodically to get service done, get that damage repair. Luckily, the drivers are driving slow enough, not compared to last week in Texas, where they were almost going 200 miles per hour into the corners. But instead, they're going around 160, able to be slow enough that this damage deflecting isn't massive and just race ending immediately, which is what we love to see. These drivers able to stay in the fight, come back, and have a chance to have a good finish here. As we're getting prepared and ready to go, Larry Yingling and Zach Hall going to be side by side in the front row. We find Shane Terrian in the 9 machine, Isaiah Sutherland in 4th, Brandon P. Johnson, Cedric Hunter, and as well going to be seeing that 71 machine, Edward Sherberg Jr. That rookie's been showing a lot of promise this season as we are back to green flag action. Larry Yingling already moving up high in a clean launch for the 67.
Yeah, we're getting a nice clean launch going here through 1 and 2. Larry's got that little bit of gap, which is nice. He doesn't have pressure behind him. We're still 2x2 is behind, though. We're expecting them all try and get down single file. You just want to be able to get out there and cruise, get some laps in here. We're seeing Johnny Brugg right here and Anthony Gaudio, who we mentioned, getting underneath the 3 maybe, trying to make a move here. They might come out of this corner 3 wide, Sam.
They're going to be almost 3 wide, and the big thing that you look out for is who's being the most aggressive right now. One makes some of these big moves.
All right, man, caution is out.
Right, well, trying to work that inside groove, and it's working great to go 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Other drivers, though, having issues as some sparks are flying deeper in the field, and oh no! Calamity strikes on the back stretch, and it's the one machine and others being spun around, and the big one. There were 2 separate incidences going on. There was a trouble in the back half on the entry turn 1, but the ultimate big one was on the backstretch in the middle where we saw Colley and others spun around.
Yeah, we saw the 13 there with some damage both front and fenders. It looked like maybe he got loose out of the corner and got hit by the 52 from behind. We're going to be bringing this replay to you shortly, but Ryan Kelly got caught up in it. The 1 got caught up. It's maybe 4 or 5 cars. Here we go, Sam.
Hit.
I didn't have
enough time to react. My bad.
Chow first, Richard Hunter, as well as 71 of Edward Sherberg Jr. You're going to be slight clip off the exit of the corner, just wiggle, 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 slight tap, and everyone trying to slow down immediately. Others being tapped. And said this a lot last season. That rear bumper and front bumper make contact. You're lifting up that rear end of the driver in front of you, and you're seeing a lot of drivers being lifted up and spun around like they're nothing. Like we just saw there on that replay. Colley just sits still, lets the field drive on by, hoping to not get any extra damage like he's had these last couple of races. And luckily, what could have been, I think, a lot worse was a little bit minimized there on that incident.
Yeah, he's just want to go in and get that fixed. A lot of drivers want to get this fixed. Even drivers from the previous cautions, just go in, hammer it out. The race isn't over yet. We're not even halfway yet here, Sam. We still got a lot of laps. I mean, we talked about Douglas Newbigging. He's going to be here on the lead lap now, so he's going to have to be involved in this now. He can't just hang out and try and wait for the lucky dog anymore. Now he's going to be right here in the middle of everything, and we'll see if his luck holds strong.
He's hoping that it's going to stay strong. Zach Hall, Carolina Reapers team, trying to make their way forward. It's been staying inside of the top 5, which is probably the safest place to be all night long so far in the first 30 laps of tonight's race, which crazy to think, Justin, we still have over a little bit under 130 laps still to go here tonight. So drivers recognizing, hey, there is a lot of time to be made up, but don't want to throw away your race too soon, as Douglas Newbigging has officially placed back onto the lead lap. That's a big gain for the 7, who initially got knocked out of the server right under that first yellow with some connection issues. Came back into the session, 3 laps down. Talked about it, Justin. Just needed a couple of more cautions to get back on the lead lap, and he has successfully done so.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing. I mean, you never know, but bad luck often can turn into good luck. One thing, if he does come in here, is able to top off, we talked about the fuel window being in about 60, 62, 63 laps, somewhere around there. If you times that by 2, it brings you to over 120, and we're showing here lap 33, so you got a 119, 118 to go. I mean, he could come in and only have to do 1 stop. Right now, everyone else is on a 2-stop if it stayed green, which, do you think it will, Sam?
I mean, it's tough to say, especially with drivers, changing up their strategy.
Right, man,
some falling back, some with a little bit fresher tires able to advance forward. I think we're expecting a little bit more carnage to rain out before things settle out, just moving forward in tonight's race. But I think maybe thinking about that fuel strategy is always a good thing to have in the back of your mind. But with these pace laps, it also enables these drivers to go a little bit further than what they traditionally would be told of that 60 to 65 window we were told. So we'll see how things change up here on this restart. Will we get a clean launch, or will we get a little bit more Rubbins racing action here at New Hampshire, as Larry England going to be the top dog up front once again? Driver that won this race back in season 6. There was 10 cautions during that race, but Larry got the pole, led the most laps, and ultimately won the race. And if Larry leads the most laps, wins the race, breaking that trend that we've had for these past 2 races back in season 2, was Bradley Johnson. Pole and led the most laps here tonight. Needs some help for Shane Terry to get back in that lead position. We'll see how well they take off here. Still plenty of racing action here at New Hampshire. Pace cars into pit road, into the restart zone, and Larry England just trusts getting onto that throttle pedal because he's already gone.
Yeah, he's gone already. He was able to actually clear them going into 1, get to the outside line so he could get a great angle going in the corner. That was really nice on his move, as we're seeing these drivers then 2 by 2 behind him. Larry England setting it early.
He certainly is comfortable running that inside groove. Isaiah Sutherland now going to be moving up to 2nd, as see the 9 falling back to 3rd place, but it's Brian P. Johnson, Daytona winner, moving forward, season 1 champ, comfortably trying to make the inside lane work to get up to 3rd place. One of our bigger movers, and oh no, James Peter in the background. Caution flag is out, and trouble for the middle of the back half of the field once again.
Oh no, we see the 6 there getting caught up again, and the 13 and the 25. They definitely got some damage from the previous runs. Now they're going to have even more. The Knights are just not going the way they want right now here, Sam.
Absolutely not. James Heater also taking a tow on that incident, and looks to be James Kaufman catching his vehicle and having trouble off the exit of the corner. And oh my goodness, drivers just being lifted up constantly there. They're being ran over.
Yeah, this is what we used to see back with these old Gen 4 cars. Like you said, they just slide right underneath the rear bumpers. The bumpers aren't low to the ground, and it just pops them up in the air. It's interesting how they got that down.
But I do have
I see the 25 off the exit of the corner. He's catching that rear end, gets loose, and pulls down low, clips the 18, slams on the brake, and everyone else not expecting that massive slowdown, and everyone else running into one another. We're gonna have another caution here tonight. Again, this was kind of expected on the fact of New Hampshire is a tough track.
Yeah,
drivers are expecting there to be incidents usually on in-3 workings into these corners, and these wrecks kind of balloon out at times as James Kaufman and others get caught up in another mess, but luckily they feel like they can try to get back in the fight. But I think for James Heater, it's going to be a little bit of a longer one for himself. He took the toe to pit road, meaning he's got to stay in there for a couple of laps before he can get his damage fully repaired.
Yeah, we're seeing some drivers peel off that look like they probably had damage. We're not seeing anyone from the top 15, 20 cars get into pit road here. Sam, I don't know about you. I don't think I'd want to pit and give up any kind of track position. We didn't want to put too many laps on these tires here. Most of them have been under caution. The fuel burn isn't too bad either under caution, like you mentioned. So I'm comfortable with staying out right now. Maybe pit again if there's another caution, 10 or 15 laps. But you just don't want to use that other set of tires yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of these drivers might be thinking, okay, if we get a green long green flag run, and then maybe if caution pops up in lap 50 or 60, that window, maybe I'll use another one of my 4 sets that I still have in pit road to work with. Otherwise, they stay out there as long as possible. That track position's so key for tonight's race. And also want to give a note on the drivers that took 2 tires. Remember, Brian P. Johnson took 2 tires, Zach Hall as well, trying to keep track position. I would say Brian P. Johnson's taking that major advantage, working on the inside lane. Zach Hall doesn't look as comfortable, but again, these restarts are so difficult. If you're not in the first 2 rows, you seem to be stalling out and kind of in trouble of almost being passed with the driver behind you that kind of figured out the jumping points on these restarts.
Yeah, we saw the 14 have a really nice restart and get up to the second. I thought he was going to pressure Larry Yingling, but just didn't have a chance yet with the way the cautions have fallen. But we're going to see on this restart shortly what happens. Zach Hall, I think we did talk about how he took 2 tires. So the fact that he's been able to fend off these guys on fresher tires, even though he's on 2, I mean, that shows that he has the speed. We know once he does get on 4 tires, he's going to be someone to reckon with.
He certainly should be. Someone to watch out for as the field getting prepared. How do you want to attack this launch? So you should be getting the 1 to go marker as the next time they drive on by, as we are finding ourselves about to be 40 laps into this race. Again, huge shout out to our sponsors here for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series. Again, grid sponsor being Kali's mom, who always wants to see the one machine drive well. Again, caught up in some issues. One back in 29th place, but hopefully Kali's mom is enjoying the show this evening. And also want to give a shout out to Roasted Gems Coffee. Go get your coffee blend today from Roasted Gems Coffee. Start your day off right. They have a wide range of blends and flavors for you to try out, as well as remember to use the promo code WSSR for 5% off. And Trophy Smack. Be the envy of your competition with having your own custom trophy, belt, ring, and more. I'll be purchasing at Trophy Smack. Design it the way that you would like to have your own trophy. I know people have fantasy football as well as sim racing events going on. You're looking for a trophy to be purchased, remember to get it from Trophy Smack. And when purchasing, remember to use the promo code WSSR Smack for 10% off. Well, 40 laps in the book. We still have 110 to go here in New Hampshire. And the driver up front, Larry Yangley's been it out at 1. We're back to green flag action. Isaiah Sutherland trying to defend for that second place spot. As Brian P. Johnson not close enough. Top about 5 in line. Side-by-side racing, though, is back for 5th place. And Zach Hall and Edward Shore Jr. for out of 5th position.
Yeah, we're seeing the 14 here right now. Pressure in the 67. Seeing if he's going to make that move. We talked about it. We see the 28 and 9 also right there to Florida. Separating a little bit there side-by-side there with Zach Hall in the 71.
71. Couple of slip-ups here and there. It's a tough track. Everyone has their own issues. Right now, it's Zach Hall trying to work on that inside lane. Again, working with just 2 tires, and he took under his pit stop. He's got over 30-plus laps on the left side, so right sides have a little bit more comfort to work with. This field is trying to continue to move forward, staying in line. Going to be a majority of the field. Starting to see Cody Reed on the chart, 52. As he stays in the top 10, what a run for Cody Reed, who won Talladega last season, but in his mirror, he's got some very impressive movement going on from Brian Noel and Anthony Gaudio, who push up the 52, exit the corner. Let's go 3 wide with these drivers down into 3.
3 wide to 77 to blink there for a second. Glad he was able to come back in. But that was a great move. We saw him getting way up there in the 3rd lane, cut the corner to the left, drive down to the bottom, and get underneath those cars. Right now, they're going to make contact, Sam. They got a little contact there.
Making contact with one another as well. A little bit of contact into Cody Reed, who's trying to just get out of the...
I definitely got the wrong steering ratio.
Well, into Gaudio, pushing both drivers up, and now Christopher Norris trying to work, but they're all getting squeezed off the center of the corner off. And these drivers that are on screen, Anthony Gaudio, Christopher Norris, Danny Cochran in the 2, all of these drivers raced against one another on our Monday night series of the ISRC Truck Series. And they know each other's tendencies, but in a Jet 4 car where the brakes are a little bit tougher to slow down with, well, those tendencies start to balloon out. Maybe if you're a late driver that gets onto the brakes, or if you're just trying to take every advantage possible as Gaudio falls back. And it looks like Brian Noel taking every advantage possible. 77, willing to use his elbows to take some of these positions.
Yeah, that got exciting there for a couple laps. Looks like maybe it's settling down here for a second. While it does, I just want to mention how we talked about the braking. We mentioned brake bias. Sam, to tell everyone, these drivers pretty much have a button on their screen or on their steering wheel. They're able to click it up, click it down, get more braking power to the front tires, get more braking power to the rear, or try and balance it so that the brakes are working the front and rear at the same time. What it does is it helps the car drive a little bit different and keeps some of the heat out of the front tires. If you take more brake, put it into the rear, your front tires aren't going to get as hot. So that's something we got to keep an eye on, talk about. We're not going to be able to visually see it, but it's something that the drivers can do, and they actively change it as the run goes on, especially with fuel when it burns off.
Yeah, you're wanting a little bit more rear braking when you're at race speed. You're trying to tackle these corners. You want to push it a little bit more balanced when you're trying to slow down in pit road. As we're seeing drivers side by side, Cameron Sarton, debut race for the 99 machine, who we've run in a couple of different series that we've covered here on Fast Broadcasting. Excited to see the debut of the 99 on what speed he was going to have this evening. And right now, challenging with in some of the biggest threats of the series with Benjamin Nelson and Douglas Newbigging. These drivers just inside of the top 20. And oh no, a little bit of a tap, and what a save from Cameron Sarton. Douglas Newbigging to the apron to take both those positions. What a save by the 99.
Yeah, that was a 2-4-1 move right there. We talked about him. This guy's got it all going tonight. Drove from the back, 3 laps down. He's up to 17th now. Just got 2 spots in that last corner. What a great drive for him, and he looks like he wants more, Sam.
Douglas Newbigging seeing a chance to go after Mason Cassidy and also go after Ross Tatum. Tatum, again, driver with some of the freshest tires out there on track compared to anyone on course currently. Mason Cassidy, though, trying to find his way to comfortably move forward. This Ford machine has a lot more of a dirt background, and currently it's going to have to back off, maybe get some spacing. The 7, Douglas Newbigging, is giving no worries on how he's attacking this corner. He is trusting his equipment with some of these big dive bomb moves into the corners.
Yeah, he's ready to race. He spent the first 40 laps, multiple laps down, and now he's on the lead lap, and he's ready to drive up through this field. But he's got a little bit of ways to go. He's halfway through there, but he's still got some ways to go. As we see a car get loose coming out of the corner, was that the...
That's Anthony Gaudio in the 29, getting a big slide, and going to fall right in front of Douglas Newbigging. You keep it on track to go to the apron, but they're squeezing up. Big move by the 7 to the inside. Skidskis of that exit off of 4. Douglas Newbigging taking a couple of more positions at 7, just looking like he's on a different plane from the rest of the drivers out there.
He is just making it work. He's down there on the Cedric Hunter line now, and he cleared them. He got by 2 of them in that corner too. I mean, he's picking it up. He's found something going. As he's under the 21 now, Ross Tatum, who we just were talking about, he's just going. The 7's got that inside line going. He's able to hold the car down there and get it to turn, and the best part is he's powering up and being able to carry that momentum down the straightaway.
Looking at the last couple of laps for Douglas Newbigging, though, none of them have been clean laps for him to just settle in, but he's running just as fast in that last lap, faster than our leader by 2/10. Douglas Newbigging is the fastest driver to watch out for currently in the whole entire field, but those that are inside of the top 10, some drivers to watch out for that are trying to close into our top 5. Edward Shore Jr. as well as Brian McCann are finding a little bit more speed, that 71 of the machine, as they continue to make their charge to catch up to our top 5 that just have been in a completely different zip code at moments. It looks like Brian P. Johnson must be under fire for that 5th place position.
Yeah, and we also noticed the 9 car starting to slowly creep in on the top 2, so maybe he's got some long run speed here. Isaiah Sutherland, he was not able to get around the 67, but he is right in his tire tracks, not losing any space. If he could get that clean air, I'm sure he could be just as fast. But the 9 car starting to put some pressure on him, so it's going to be something we're going to notice here, since the 9 have the long run speed over the top 2.
Trying to make the pass for the battle for 2nd place is the 9 of Shane Tarian, as well as Zach Hall trying to close in on the battling. Brad P. Johnson from the Carolina Reapers racing team up to 5th place and comfortably in that position for now, as it looks like Sherwood Jr. backing off just slightly as we move our camera up to that battle for 2nd place. You got to remember, Shane Tarian, one of the few drivers. There's so many different ways you can try to race on iRacing. For some, it's more of a traditional wheel, and there's a ton of different variations of racing wheels and pedals that you can run with. Well, Shane Tarian's one of the few drivers that's out there in the sim, racing with the controller, and the 9 He is putting the pressure. Usually on the controller, we find that the long run pace is where the 9 struggles. Right now, showing maybe it's a strength, is almost contact between Sutherland and Terry, and up takes it aboard.
Yeah, what we're seeing right now is typical Loudon. You get in there, you get under the car, and then you think you're going to make the pass, and then you just can't. You try so hard, you're turning that wheel to the left to stay off the guy above you, and you just don't have the ability to power down. He's trying everything he can. He's getting higher, and now he's going to sling down to the bottom. He's going to be side by side here going into 3, Sam.
Down into turn number 3. Terry backing off a little bit sooner. Doesn't want to push the envelope too aggressively on the entry of the corner. If he did, it might have been a little bit more contact between those 2 drivers. Instead, they'll fight forward, staying in the line. Middle of the field, though, you can see a little bit of side-by-side racing back there as Terrian tries the outside lane. Not going to work out the best of his abilities, but a lot of aggressive side-by-side racing for about 14th on back. There's a bad cluster that you can see on screen where danger is lurking. And in the middle of all of it, it's Benjamin Nelson, Ollie Fonseca, and the tailpipes trying to find a way to get through this mess and start to fight for the drivers that are inside the top 15.
Yeah, what great camera work we had there from Robert Bowery, showing us the 4 different lanes those drivers were in. They weren't 4 wide, but they were.
Man, that guy turned me.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, they're just all over this track, Sam. These tires are worn out now. 52's running.
Just straight turned me.
They're comfortably in the middle.
We got
trouble. And it's the 8 machine of Brian McCann. The field is trying to avoid the 80 stuck on the outside wall off the exit of turn 2. Our ticker kind of was blocking it there, but there we find Brian McCann facing in the wrong direction. And it was around the battling between the 8 and the 71.
Damn, who was that?
And gets himself pointing straight now and able to take off. It's going to be one of our few drivers. Required damage for Brian McCann. It's going to be off the exit of turn 2. We're going to see this battle of how kind of
I raced him clean for all those laps, and he just straight turns me.
McCann on the 71 of Sherwood Jr. And Justin, like you said, Loudon, it kind of gives you that false hope that you're able to make a pass. It looks like for the 8, you felt like he was clear, just didn't work out completely here as he goes into the corner, feeling confident, but the exit of the corner, just a little bit of a clip as you tried to move up.
Yeah, he had the choice to make there. He thought he was clear. It's just so hard. The spotter might have said clear for a second up there, and then
I didn't think I was clear.
Just gets that run, and it was so close. It just didn't work out. It's just unfortunate halfway through the race, and now the 8's going to have some damage to repair, and it's going to be a long night for him to try and get back to the front. But we do know we
were side by side.
He can do it. He's definitely going to be able to get up there.
Yeah, he certainly should be. As the field coming into pit road, no surprise, we were in such a long green flag run that was around 15-20 laps. Drivers feel like it's time to come to pit road, get service done, as everyone enters and fight off pit road. We'll go to Shane Terry and Larry Yingling. Yingling's going to be able to be the driver that backs his way off the pit exit, and after those battles that happen, I think for us, we're going to take a quick commercial break. There's been a lot of action here this evening. It's been a pleasure to give you all the coverage here at Freaking Fast Broadcasting. You're watching the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series, as we will be back in a few moments to do more coverage of New Hampshire here in just a few moments.
Came down and straight hooked me.
All right, that's it. Go. Line up single file. Past the 20. You exited the closed pit. Go to the end of the longest line. Let the 52.
Decided to speed on pit road, guys, so I have a little more of a challenge.
You had the position when the yellow flag came out. Let the 52 car by. He had the position when the yellow flag came out.
They're 5 wide behind the pit. Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work. They make it last, bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora still with the shot here, coming off a 4.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man.
Bottom line, here it comes. Oh no, Carter gets run. It's going to be that Nick Crumford. The 74 gets through somehow, and they just completely demolish one another. Driving down low, drifting up, trying to be the stealer. Cedric Hunter. He steals it.
But he somehow drove it in according to Reckon.
Oh, they wrecked! They wrecked each other! The top two bounced into one another, just too much of side drifting off of, and they gotta be careful. Oh no, the 4 demolishes in the 28. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WSSR Roast the Gems Cup Series, race number 3 for season 8. It's the New Hampshire 150. Currently, Larry England leading the way. 67 has been quick, and he's been one of the more dominant drivers of tonight's race. As the field is getting prepared and ready to get back to green flag action, we've had quite a few wrecks, but it's all about surviving to the end. As we're inching closer to the halfway zone, we're back to green flag action, and drivers roar down into turn number 1. And a clean start as they prepare for the exit of turn 2. My name's Sam Dyer. With me is Justin Malarkey. And here we go, Justin, off the exit turn 2.
Exit of turn 2, Larry's still going to power down. Shane's right there on him, 1432, who is now on 4 tires, just like everybody else. He stayed up there the whole time, Sam, on 2. That's super impressive. So now I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to this race now on 4 fresh ones.
What are they going to bring? Battle for the lead. Shane Terrian's going to have the poke of the nose ahead. And Shane was our pole sitter. Out the pole late in qualifying, and now trying to take back the lead after letting Larry Yingling take that lead position early on. The 9, I think, might recognize having that clean air so important. Doesn't want Larry Yingling to kind of be the piece setter of setting his own rhythm, protecting his tires his own way. Instead, the 9 still working that inside groove. Not clear just yet on the pass, but finally gets it done. It's now the 9 to Shane Terrian, leading here at New Hampshire. In battle for 3rd place, now about to get underway. Sutherland, Hall, here we go on it. If we can see that 32 start to advance forward.
Yeah, we talked about him. We think he's going to be fast. He held him off on 2 tires, and now he's got the 4 fresh ones, equal footing. See what he's going to have under stories. Right here, going under the 14, going to heavy braking down on the bottom. He just can't get clear. He's just running down there. You don't know how much he's going to abuse these tires, though. How many laps do you think you want to do this, Sam? Is he still fender to fender? They're right on each other.
Beating and banging, Robbins Racing. This is the type of action that we love to see on the WSSR Cup Series. Adding a little bit of flair on how these drivers want to race with one another. First, one of the few drivers that's really been able to make his way forward, cracking in the top 10's, but struggling to do so. It's Danny Cochran in the 2. Now going to be side by side with Edward Sherwood Jr. in 71. Maybe kind of get a little bit done with drivers looping themselves on that front bumper. Trying to still stay stable on the outside as Danny able to finally clear just ahead of that 71 machine down into turn number 1.
Yeah, you always want to be able to get those oh no, trouble. We got the 2 turnaround. Danny Cochran, he's not going to hit anything on the brakes and just kisses the wall ever so slightly.
Thought he was fully clear, and it was not the case for Danny Cochran. And a couple of other drivers piling in late as well. It's James Kaufman and well as Nick Alves. Excuse me, that was Kaufman and Brad Delph having a little bit of contact after the fact. But Danny Cochran getting the worst of it.
Yeah, that's Sam. That's so unfortunate. We don't think he has too much damage there. I mean, is that the broadcaster jinx? Did we bring it out? We were talking about him right then and there. It happened live.
The broadcaster's curse, yes, is 100% a thing. But Danny, I mean, it's happened to him so many times, it's bound to happen again. He knows that if I say his name, it's bound to happen. He's asked me to stop saying his name. It's hard. You get inside the top 10, we got to mention you. And he gets caught up in the mess and now has to fight through the field once again to find himself up front. And the field, they're always hoping that we don't jinx them or give them that commentator's curse of you mention a driver, how well they're doing or about to do something great, and then they get caught up in a mess and a wreck and the race is over. Luckily, it's not the case for Danny, but just, I mean, it's one of those things, as a driver, you don't know that it happened, but for us in the booth, we, and for the viewers, you kind of notice it live, the fact that, well, the curse just was marked.
Yeah, and maybe this is the curse also, but we did talk about Douglas Newbigging a lot. He was running up in 7th, and all of a sudden he's back to 24th, and that previous pit stop must have had some trouble there, maybe fixing a little bit of damage that we weren't aware of, but he did drop back to 24th on that restart, so just wanted to bring everyone up to date on that one.
Pit road is now open.
Also, got a report, drivers do listen to our broadcast. You know, some like to listen, hear our advice, or you know, sometimes the strategy calls that we might have. Sometimes they just want to listen. Christopher Norris, though, personally messaged me, said, don't message me, please, right now, because he's now cracked in the top 10. Congratulations, Norris. Hopefully you're not next on the list of being commentator cursed, but we'll see if you can survive through this madness. That is New Hampshire. We're still not even at halfway, and the drivers know this is crunch time. Also, in the fact that we're getting that interesting point, Justin, of the race where we might see these drivers from this point onwards. Do you take one more stop just for tires? Because fuel window is inching closer and closer to the end of this race.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up. I am a big fan of being able to pit right near that window. Right now, I'm doing it. If I'm a leader, maybe I'm not, but if I'm running 10th, 12th, 13th, I think you got to sometimes just roll the dice because you don't know. Get in there, get your fuel. If it stays green, you're in good shape. Even if it stays green for 40 laps, these drivers in the front, maybe they have to start pitting because they're getting low on fuel. They don't want to risk staying out too long. They want to stop halfway through to run, and then before you know it, you're the leader. Caution comes out, and they're trapped a lap down. There's a lot of plays. I like the decision. We're seeing these guys just going here single file, just taking it easy right now to staying behind the pace cars.
All right,
Getting ready for this race. Drivers set up for when they're going to be taking off, and might as well get our thoughts on how these drivers are feeling for tonight's race. Let's see if we can talk to some of the drivers out there on track. Danny just caught up in that wreck. Curious on his thoughts on how he can march through this field. Going to be all the way back to 26th position. Let's see if Danny's feeling comfortable trying to climb through this madness. Let's cue up that 2 machine. Danny, it's Sam and Justin up in the booth. We're getting that 1-to-go marker, man. How are you feeling trying to go through the field, just caught up in that mess back in 26? How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like I can't wait to get dumped again. I'd hate to have a decent run through the field and somebody not turn me. But we're about to be a man on a mission here, and I hope you guys enjoy the show because it's going to be one to watch. I'm running a line that nobody else is running, and I think it's going to prove fairly effective here on this rubber den track. But first I got to navigate through the 77 and 71 and all those happy campers up there. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Hope you got some popcorn because we are about to come flying.
He's even calling out the 71. 71 must be a wrecker.
Survive through it. Good luck out there.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, that's going to be the 2 machine of Danny Cochran. Obviously, you can hear it in his voice, a little fired up, excited for this restart as we find ourselves getting ready to go back to green flag action here.
I don't know who the wreckers are in this league.
Larry Yingling going to be your front 2 driver. Shane gets the better launch down into turn number 1. And it's Larry Yingling, just that inside lane. Looks so preferred for the 67. A great launch, Justin, off the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, 9 comes right down, crosses his nose, and the 67 had to maybe check up there. A spec coming out of the corner. It's going to allow the 32 to hang on his outside. And Isaiah Sutherland's watching these 3 in front of him, knowing that he has a fast car. You just can't find out that way to be able to get that lead. You know he's fast right here. We're on board with him, Sam.
Running on board Sutherland. You can see the side-by-side action, but a quick yellow tops up instead as Yingling holds on steady, and it's Richard Wolsifer back in 33rd place. Pointing in the wrong direction off the exit of the corner. It looks to be
Am I not the lucky dog?
Just a self-spin for the 67 coming off the exit of the corner. One of those drivers that just got 4 fresh tires. Loose sensation. Not comfortable for himself, and that's going to be a quick spin. He brings out this yellow.
You are simply asking too
fresh
much.
cold tires, and he just used up probably 10 laps of life maybe by spinning them. So we'll see if he goes back in and uses that strategy of taking another set. And maybe this thing, the rest of the race on fuel, if we do get a long green run, which we know it happened last week. We see the 56 right here. He's able to stay off the wall, Sam. That's not really any damage at all. I think he's going to be fine.
How about a quick slip then? And the 56 goes. We would stay off the wall and not get as much damage. We'll try to recover from that incident. Shane Terry going to be up front. Zach Hall in second. Third is Larry Yingling with Isaiah Sutherland in fourth. Brian Noel going to be in fifth place. These front runners trying to get into kind of a rhythm, if possible, for themselves. It's kind of tough to get in that rhythm, though, Justin, for a driver's experience of going through races like this where you go 5 laps, then a yellow flag comes out. You go 20 laps, then another one comes out. You only go 2 laps, and there's just no pace or rhythm to these yellows. How do you try to mentally set up into these types of races?
Yeah, mentally as a driver, I never really like cautions. I like getting in a rhythm. I like when the tires wear out, the car's spread out. I don't like restarts, especially when maybe we talked to Danny earlier how he said he didn't like how he thought he got turned. And that's what happens on restarts. You have people dive bomb who maybe weren't running near you for the last 30 laps, but then a restart happens, they're bunched up and they're right behind you, and you get turned. And then it just makes for a frustrated rest of the night. Cautions, they bring cautions, we know that. And right now we've had quite a few of them. We're at the halfway point, so what are you thinking for the final 75 here?
I mean, I'm hoping that maybe because we're at the halfway point, we'll start to see that swing, but with 36 drivers still fighting for the best finish that they can get, I would imagine they're still going to be scrapping for everything. Potential chances of wrecks are still pretty high, and they're going to try to stay out of trouble the best that they can. As drivers coming in pit road, getting service done, waiting for the pace car lights to come off to give us the 1 to go indication. Hey, let's talk to, we talked to Danny back in 26th on that last pace. Let's talk to someone that's inside of our top 5. Brian Noel, 77. He's had some pretty aggressive moves at time. We'll see if the 77, though, if he's got any other big moves to chime in and try to give a report to the 77. 77, Brian Noel, it's Sam and Justin up the booth. You got us?
Halfway this time.
I got you.
Well, Brian, you're inside of the top 10 in 5th place. What's this car feeling? How are you feeling so far here tonight?
Well, I mean, it feels fine. It's a little loose, but I knew that going in that it would be a little loose. But, yeah, it's handling just about as well as I thought it would.
And Justin, do you got any questions here for Brian as we got him?
Brian, 74 to go here. How many sets of tires do you have left, and when do you want to bolt on your last set?
I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. I mean, I definitely have a decent amount, but I'm not quite sure when I'm going to dive in right at the end.
Have you noticed tire wear be extreme? Are tires really important? You don't want to stay out there maybe if the tires do 15, 20 laps on them? Is that when you want them?
All right, man, we're going green next time. Bye. All right, man.
The fall-off really isn't that severe, to be honest. It's just the fresh rubber is loose for like a couple laps, and then it comes in, and then it kind of stabilizes. So it'll just be. I guess it'll just be more of a judgment call how I feel about the track conditions.
Well, we appreciate that feedback. We're going to send you back down here to your team so you can get back talking, and we're getting ready to go green here, so best of luck to you. We know you're fast.
20 car out here.
I appreciate it.
You let me by, or let me by.
That will be 77 machine and Lucky Ducks Motorsports of Brian Noel. 77, hoping that this is going to be a good launch for himself here tonight. As the field is stacked up, got the 1 to go marker. That means it is time for us. We are officially into the second half of tonight's race. And it's going to be Shane Terry and Zach Hall. Isaiah Sutherland going to be your front runners. Larry Engling, though, going to be right behind Zach Hall. We'll see how this launch is going to influence Larry in any way. Into the restart zone. Green flag is out. And everyone able to get a pretty decent launch up front, deep in the field. Once again, it's the survival factor for everyone. 15th on back as they exit out of turn number 2 with Shane Terrian leading the way in the 9.
Yeah, Shane's been watching those Falcons from SpaceX launch because he launched on that restart, but the 32 is going to be right here with him going down in the corner. We know the 32's fast as it was his first attempt on a restart there, being with the leader, and he's able to stay with him. He'll hold off the 67, who we know is fast, and that 14, we know he's fast. We're waiting for that 14 to get in that front row and show us what he's got.
Trying to make these moves, but he's being pressured by Larry England on the inside lane. And trying to make some big moves also. Some other drivers that we talked about earlier in the race that have had to work all night long to move forward. Ross Statham now at the 8th position. But this is the best battle on screen, watching Isaiah Sutherland trying to defend for every spot on the outside of the 14. Couldn't defend over Larry Engling. It looks like Brian Noel could have the better launch off the exit of turn 4 as they stay dead heat. Drag racing down into turn number 1.
Drag race down into 1 heavy, breaking to 77, gets in there perfect. We talked to him just now. He told you guys his car's feeling a little loose like he expected. He's able to power down, still coming out of that corner side by side. He's staying there with the 14. This is impressive, being able to do this on the bottom this many laps.
all drivers on track. They're feeling that same loose sensation. And Sutherland had a major save, got loose, almost made contact with Noel. They hold steady for now. Now drivers trying to poke the nose. Cameron Sark, as well as Brian B. Johnson. Sark, who found himself being spun around earlier, now is in the fight inside of our top 10. It's hard to figure out where you want to place yourself with Brian Johnson, because having a wall of two drivers side by side is tough to get by. There's almost contact there for some of the drivers up front, and as well, seeing Stitz and other drivers making their charge forward.
Yeah, we're seeing these guys back here still be 2x2. Stitz trying to make that move, get back up to the front. Back here on board with Isaiah Sutherland. He's gonna maybe clear to 28, but he's got the 77 still in front of him, who was able just to get by him and complete that pass. See, this is one problem you want to run into, Sam. You just don't want to get stuck behind cars and start beating and banging. We're seeing the 14 get maybe roughed up with Spec there by the 28. He's gotten super close on that corner.
Some drivers are feeling comfortable on some big moves, using each other up some. Still feeling a little antsy about any slight contact. Brady Johnson makes a big move. Cedric Connor still running that apron line, and it's allowing drivers to still stay 3 wide at moments and comfortable. Danny Cochran able to move up now to 20th position, starting to figure out where did Kenny move and place. Said that he had a different line from everyone else and felt confident that it was a better line to make some big moves. Well, right now, I gotta say the 7 looks good, but almost some contact there between Justice Murphy and Douglas Newbiggie.
Yeah, getting 3 wide going into that corner. Danny luckily right in front of him. We talked to him, and he was excited to get back up to the front here. And Douglas Newbiggie, we did mention him throughout the race, how he's been able to come through his field multiple times. And we see trouble. No, Brandon Cawley. Oh no, he just not able to survive this race. He's gonna keep it green, Sam. I thought the caution was gonna come out. No yellow. We saw it live.
Not sideways enough with oncoming traffic, kept it pointing straight, and the 1 is going to have to deal with that damage. Now down to 23rd position. Douglas Newbiggie moves up to 20th, but Justice Murphy struggling right now is the 20 machine as he battles with Cody Reed. Cody Reed, interesting call for the 52 under our last yellow, decided to come to pit road. Just topped off on fuel was Cody Reed. Maybe thinking about just keeping that track position for not coming into pit road, but also thinking if we get a couple of more yellow flags coming out, I decide to stay out on track if possible. As more contact between the 12 and the 1, and Colley goes around.
Oh no, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to watch that again and replay here. But what do you think, Sam? Was that maybe a little bit of frustration?
That was a loose 12 using Colley up to try to point himself straight. That was an unfortunate racing situation that the 1, once again, of Colley just can't catch a break. It has been a dismal start to the season and just continues to rattle off. As take a look here on the battling between 12 Justice Murphy, the 1 of Brandon Colley, and big thing to watch out for, the exit of the corner. The 12 is going to see that rear end kick out. Then he's going to come sliding back down into the 1. That's contact. And once you make contact with one another, you're kind of chasing your own car. Makes the second bump, and away the 1 goes.
Yeah, what a great analysis there by you. That's exactly what happened. I missed seeing the 12 get loose that first time. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. The 1's not able to catch a break. That's 3 races in a row. And but we do have pit stops here. So, Sam, you did talk about it. We're bolting tires on right now. We're going to be fresh rubbers, fill it up with fuel, and if it stays green, we should be in good shape here.
And there's a few drivers that topped off on fuel under that last yellow that want to keep track position just in case more yellow flag comes out. That's going to be Cody Reed, Ryan Kelly going to be deciding to stay out for the 3 of them. Rest of the field, 4 tires and fuel get back out there on track. And Shane Tarian going to be the first driver out of pit road, but 4th currently on track. And we'll see if any of our top 3 decide to hit pit road or not, as it is just a lot of frustration for some, others strategy, and it's just a good old classic New Hampshire race, I would say here, Justin, of just cautions breeding cautions, and drivers, they're just trying to survive with the handling of a vehicle that's just bad at that.
Yeah, just trying to get out of those corners, get down a straightaway. These cars have so much power that you build up so much speed, and then you just got to get on the brakes and got to get the car to turn. Got to get the car not to slide into someone. There's a lot going on that these drivers are doing. They're doing a great job. It is hard. I do like the strategy for Cody Reed getting out there, leading that lap, staying up front, and who knows? if this race turns into a couple, 3, 4, 5 cautions at the end, he might be in good shape just to get a top 5, top 10.
Trying to find ways to salvage out of this race. So for some drivers, salvaging is going to be a big thing. After this week, I think some drivers are ready for a new maybe place to go to. Robert, I believe we might have the schedule to look at upcoming races that we have for these drivers. Going to be a good one for this field as continue on the trends of just completely different course to a different course as drivers next week get to try their skills out at Watkins Glen. It'll be the last race here covered on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for 2023. Crazy to think a whole year is done and dusted. When we come back for 2024, drivers go to Indianapolis January 3rd. Then round number 6 of the season, heading to a new track that a lot of drivers still haven't purchased, going to Kern County Racing Park, short track racing. Justin, that's going to be a good one to watch.
It's going to be a great one to watch, especially in these old cars with the insane horsepower they have. I'm really excited to go to race number 8, Legacy, Michigan. I know how fun Michigan was with these cars back in the day. They were able to go around multiple grooves, all that power, fly down the straightaways, get on the brakes. True old school racing. We're going to love it and can't wait to bring it to you.
Can't wait for it. First 12 races of the season are the regular season before we head into the playoffs. So there's still plenty of time to come back. If you have poor first 3 races of the season, you can certainly come back with a good string of races, get yourself back into the points. Well, drivers up front go with an on-ball strategy. It's Cody Reed, Ryan Kelly deciding not to come into pit road. Both dealing with their own separate issues, but old tires versus new. Let's see how our front row can survive the rest of the field. As Kelly has a slight blinking issue, but Cody Reed's the lead driver. We're back underway and already expect some major speed differences from our top 2 to the rest of the field as we find ourselves with 60 laps to go here in New Hampshire as Cody Reed exited turn 2, still the leader, but for how long?
And we see Ryan Kelly already drop back to 4th, just went in that first corner. The car just didn't want to turn on those older tires. And we're seeing the same thing now happen to our leader, Cody Reed, who's no longer going to be the leader coming out of this corner. We're going to have a tremendous race for the top 2 positions. Shane's going to lead that lap, Sam.
Leads the lap, and Larry Engley's still going to be fighting on the outside of that 67.
Taking the lead.
Ryan Kelly, Cody Reed, Cody's up in that middle to high lane. Watch out, is the big question for the rest of the field. And oh no, Brian Noel and the rest of the field piling in on the backstretch. As it was just one little slip up the 77 in the front end, and they're still piling into one another off the exit of the corner.
I got my first one.
Isaiah Sutherland, he got hit a second time.
I turned him right around on the track.
Fortunate for him right there. 70.
Who was that?
He has some damage there on the back end, Sam.
That was Kaufman, wasn't it?
Some of these guys throughout the race, they were super fast, just unfortunately got back a little bit in track position on that pit stop, and then they got caught up in the race, in the wreck, and unfortunately, this race is getting closer to the end. It's going to be harder and harder to get up there.
And if you pit now and you get fuel and tires, you should be good to take it to the very end of this race. As again, a lot of different situations where drivers were piling into one another late, trying to get that perfect timing for when these drivers have the incident off the exit of turn 2. And the big thing that we're watching out is the 77. When we come in this corner, he's trying to make a pass on the 20 with Ryan P. Johnson. Exit of the corner, the 77 drifts up right from the nose, and that small little tap is what gets them out of hand.
And unfortunately, Cameron's start was right there. We talked about him having that nice top 10 run going, and we're just seeing some other cars get caught up as this wreck keeps going. Unfortunately, 25, he's had a tough night.
Also, there is Sutherland getting that late hit. Mason Cassidy who got pushed into the 14, and
we can repair
more drivers entering pit road to get service done.
You'll have
get some of that damage repaired. Well, for the only driver that's officially has been sitting in pit road still getting required damage done is James Heater, who was involved in one of our first 4 cautions of the day, and just has not been able to recover from that incident. It's still getting repairs done. The rest of the field, though, it's been coming in periodically to get service done. See driving the 1-5. 6 machine, Brad Delt, able to get the lucky dog pass for the 6 machine, but still laps down is going to be Michael Bennett. 2 laps down is the 41, but staying out on track, Shane Terry, Larry Yingling, the rest of the field. But surprisingly, I think to me, is the fact that Cody Reed and Ryan Kelly both are staying out. They're going to be restarting 4th and 5th on this next restart. That is a dangerous position for drivers that are on older tires.
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that because I'm thinking too, we know it didn't work that first lap. We saw them starting to drop through the field, and that was only 1 lap. If this race does stay green, are they really putting themselves in a bad position? I know they don't want to pit and go back into the back, but if we do get a green run here, you know, as a driver, it's hard when you're out there in older tires. You know, you're fighting an uphill battle with guys on fresher tires. You know, maybe they're waiting for another caution and they're going to go in and maybe use that strategy there. We're going to find out really soon, though. I know we're getting ready to go back green here in about 1.5 laps.
Getting ready to go back green, racing, and we've had plenty of drivers fighting the damage. This race, and
you'll still have minor wheel damage.
Get a call with one of the drivers going with the risky call, just to get how the handling feels of Cody Reed and get his thoughts on how that 52 is feeling. He's been beaten and battered, and currently going to be up front in 4th place. That's up 52 of Cody Reed. Cody, it's Sam up at the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man,
well, Cody, you're up front. Older tires than most of the field. We saw there a little bit of a struggle slowing down the entry turn 3, but man, how is this car feeling, and how are you feeling personally getting ready for this restart?
I didn't really get a good feel of the car on that start. It was kind of terrifying with all these really good guys with fresh tires around me. I should be able to hold on. I honestly would not have stayed out, but I had when I went down to get my damages repaired from my wreck with Cedric earlier, I accidentally took tires on the caution before everyone took tires, and so I just decided to stay out on this one. So I'm on like 13 lap older tires than everyone else.
Get ready.
But we'll see how this goes.
And we're excited to see how well you're going to be racing here tonight, Cody. Hopefully you can survive, and good luck on this restart.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Well, that's going to be Cody Reed getting ready for this restart. On all those older tires, it was a simple mistake, forcing him to have to do an audible call that talked about that earlier on in this race. Those changes you have to make on the fly, and he's going to have to hope to survive. On the outside, 2nd row is Cody Reed as we're back to green flag action. Old tires, watch out for the 3 machine. Ryan Kelly, the 52, Cody Reed, rest of the field at full song, and it's attack mode for Shane Terry off the exit turn 2.
We see a great launch for the 9. Zach Hall still going to be here side by side, but he's 67 there. We're going to see this could be important here. You want to be able to clear him and not use up too much tires on this inside line here. We know sliding around, we can heat the cars up, heat the tires up pretty fast. So we do want to keep an eye on that. And he's going to, no, he cleared himself. All right.
I went ahead and hit the wall. I thought they were coming for me. Oof.
But a big wreck
just
off
vanished
exit
before my
turn
very
4,
eyes,
and
so
sadly is
alive.
James Kaufman once again, the 25 machine back in 34th position, finding himself being spun around off the exit at turn number 4. Just another driver, unfortunately, caught up with being loose off the exit of the corner and gets himself spun around on the hook on someone's front bumper.
Yeah, we see the left front there, maybe even twisted in a little bit. That could be a couple minutes of damage. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go in and get that repaired, but really get out and log some more laps and see what he can figure out. Use it for weeks going forward.
Well, for us here for Fast Broadcasting, we have we're closing in on lap 100. So we are actually going to take one of our few, well, maybe our last commercial break. We'll see how these drivers bring out the cautions. But here are where your top 5 runners are heading into our commercial break. You've got Shane Terry leading the way, Zach Hall in 2nd, Larry Yingling in 3rd. 4th is Brian P. Johnson and Cody Reed finishing out your top 5 as we are going to take ourselves to a commercial break. When we come back, more exciting racing for the WSSR Roots Gens Cup Series. Race number 3. It's been a chaotic one, but who's going to take the victory here in New Hampshire?
Keep going.
Pit boxing 10.
Lucky dog coming high.
5, 3, 2, 1. Right here. We can repair most of the damage. You'll still have minor wheel damage. That's it, go. Line up single file. Catch the 41 car. Pass the 41. Pass the... Pass the 14. Pass the 41. Pass the...
14, it says you gotta pass me, buddy.
Pit boxing 10.
He's waiting on me, sorry.
5.
Tell me to stay behind 41.
3, 2, 1. Right here.
That's telling me to let you by.
We can repair most of the damage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WSSR Roast and Gems Cup Series. You're watching Season 8 coverage of these drivers here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's race number 3 at New Hampshire. Plenty of wrecks here tonight. It's been a long race for a lot of the field. For some, it has been almost I'm done, calling it a night type of a night, as we've seen drivers have been able to recover after some incidences. Douglas Newbigging got disconnected in the first handful of laps of the race. With 3 laps down, he's now inside of the top 15. Other drivers not able to have that same luck to recover back into this race. But it's been a pleasure to give you all the coverage here again on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me up here is Justin Larky. Justin, 100 laps in the books. We've had lots of cautions here tonight. Man, we're getting ready for this restart. This is kind of the final push to see who's going to get the win here tonight. How are you feeling, and what do you think these drivers are feeling getting ready for this restart?
Yeah, feeling we've seen a lot of restarts, which have been really exciting. We've seen the front row. It seemed like every time the leader's been able to get the clear restart, but I think as these races, these laps wind down here, Sam, someone's going to push the envelope and try and stay side by side by that leader so that they can come out the new leader. We're going to see right here if Zach Hall is going to be able to make that move.
Drivers trying to settle in. How do you feel about this restart? Also, Cody Reed Radical is still out there on
green flag.
10 lap overtime for the rest of the field. Here we go. Pace car pulls it into the pit row, the front row, into the restart zone, and we are green at New Hampshire. With less than 50 laps to go, it's crunch time. Make some big moves, and we're already seeing some drivers further on back. We're trying to 3 wide, but Shane Tarian better launch and keeping himself about a half a car length ahead off the exit of turn 2. And other drivers side-by-side battling. This is back for 7th place.
Yeah, we're under 50 to go now. The intensity's going to pick up. We're seeing the 21 here right now. We talked about him throughout the race. We know he's got the speed. He's working his way back up to the field.
I might get my
down there, Sam. Little loose.
damage fixed.
It's been such a cycle going on in caution. Trouble in the back. And drivers scattering, and it's similar drivers that we've been seeing all night long. Just bad luck striking for James Kaufman and Isaiah Sutherland that just cannot get that magnet away from one another.
Yeah, that's unfortunate right there. The 14 was so strong throughout the race, and now he's caught up in back-to-back incidents. This is not how you want your night to go. 47 laps left, and he's just hoping to get through this here. We'll fix 5 the rest of the way.
You're going to be seeing there James Kaufman breaking loose in front of Sutherland. And Sutherland, one of those drivers that was running inside of our top 5. He's got some crazy quick speed. And when you've got some fast vehicle that feels confident and you can gas it up, you see that contact being made of a driver getting loose in front of you. There's just no time to slow down. Aggressive hit.
I would think it pretty much has been, hasn't it?
You got to settle it back down and resettle, restack, and go for another restart. And these restarts are going to get more and more aggressive the later these cautions build up.
They really are. We're getting down to 46 to go now. Are you going to come in and take tires? I mean, I know we only did 1 lap, but they still have those sets left. I mean, you want to be the one of the first people to put them on, and hope that the race stays green, and then you're in good shape. But we're going to find out. It looks like no one's pitting right now.
No one making that turn into pit road. I think it might be that 30 lap to go window if caution builds up there. Maybe you decide to hit pit road, but difficult to make that hard decision. It's kind of been a little bit of a pace simulator, but hey, if you want to watch racing that maybe be longer than what we're seeing here tonight and not expecting to see any yellow flags being thrown, well, get excited for it. We're back to Daytona in January freaky fast. It's proud to have our third annual JDRF charity race. And this go around, it's the 6 hours of Daytona endurance racing to give some of those sim race drivers a little bit of practice before the 24 hours of Daytona. 2 weeks after our charity race is done, get your 6 hours of practice and for a great cause as we're trying to help out the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. January 6th is the date, and if you would like to find a way to either donate or sign up to be part of the racing action, go down to our comment section where you'll find our Discord. It's our community Discord channel where you can find more information to sign up for the team, and also just find your ways to donate, share. We'd love to have as many people involved with this charity event of either being viewers, drivers, or anything else to help out with our JDRF charity event. Thank you so much to all those that have already signed up and everyone that's been participating with getting this event set up. It's been a pleasure to have, and we cannot wait for January 6th. It's just a few weeks away for some great racing action. As we get ourselves prepared for this one, drivers are trying to calm down, cool off. It's 45 laps to go here tonight in New Hampshire. And Justin, we kind of talked about it. You brought it up to me. New Hampshire is a track that sometimes feels like it can feel so much longer than what it really is. It's just a track that's a mile in length, but man, has it been feeling like a even longer race just because of how flat this surface can be and the pace laps.
Yeah, you'd think 1 mile, 150 laps, you'd think we're going to go through it fast like a traditional short track, but these laps, they're long. They're 30 seconds long. When you think of a track that's a mile long, Dover, they're about 21 seconds. You know, that's almost a third less time, and then these pace laps are just so slow, and then when you get to all these cautions, it just adds to, we almost are having ourselves a 6-hour race here, Sam.
It's adding up. There is a time limit for these drivers. We're not close to it at all yet, but these drivers did know, hey, if we were going to caution every lap, the time limit would become a factor. Luckily, we're not there tonight, but they do know it's crunch time aboard tonight's race. And as well, we get some late cautions with 5 laps to go in this race. We do have overtime attempts if needed, 3 in the pocket if we need overtime attempts, says field's getting ready. Some of our bigger movers so far here tonight. Ross Tatum, he has been on the move, making some big moves up 14 places from where he started, as well as Brian B. Johnson's been making a lot of big moves. That's in the middle of the pack. Trevor Earhart up 18 positions, and Tyler Dangler back in 19th for the 19 machine. Didn't get any practice time, showed up just for the race. He's up 18 spots as well. Congratulations on the way that he's been moving forward. But it's time for us to get back to green flag action. As the pace cars into pit road, we're green, and down in turn number 1, it's side by side for second place because Shane Terrian is gone.
Still there.
Yeah, and I noticed a little bit of damage there on the 28. This front a little pushed in. We're seeing that right there. If we get on board here with 32 on the rear view, we'll be able to see a little bit more of that. But not sure where you got that damage from. Did you notice that earlier, Sam?
I mean, he's been grabbing a little bit of damage here and there. He had to work through the field, making some pretty big passes. What damage? Oh no! Trouble on the exit turn number 4, and Chris Stitz could not hold on, and the field is in gridlock on the front stretch.
And we saw the field pretty much disappear on that rear camera shot. Everyone had to come to a grinding halt. There is one car to 31 sitting backwards on the front straightaway there still, Sam.
Chris Stitz was the catalyst, and there was just no way that this field had a chance to try to avoid this wreck. Exit of 4, and it was one of the more violent wrecks of just overcorrecting. We haven't talked about drivers overcorrecting very often, but coming off the exit of turn 4, drivers talked about how they were getting loose. Well, we're going to be seeing it once he exits out of 4s. This is out of 2, setting up into the back stretch. The 17 was trying everything possible to make sure he didn't cause a bigger calamity, but Justin, there's sometimes when you just push the limits on trying to save a vehicle.
Right here. Yeah, it's you mentioned the overcorrecting with the power in these cars. You just you start turning, and all of a sudden you go to save it, and it just takes off on you. And we're gonna see it right here when they come out of the corner. They're 3 wide right here, and sometimes 3 wide just leads to problems. And we just see them get loose, correct it, and just bounce right off that wall. And there's just nowhere to go for these drivers. And coming from the restart, they're all bunched up, and it just turns to a parking lot here.
As the field tries to slow down, turns into just a wall of drivers, and it's just better off slamming the brake, come to a stop, and let
Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
figure out how they want to move forward before you can take off. And scary moment and hard damage for a lot. Justice Murphy going to be coming in pit road, getting service done. A lot of other drivers as well. Chris Stitz required damage. He immediately took a tow into pit road, knowing that his night was most likely over. And he was running up front. I mean, near that 11th, 12th place for Chris Stitz. And he's one of those drivers that's just outside of our top 16 in points. That's not going to be helping him gain those points on Danny Cochran after that horrific crash. And now, got 40 laps to go. Going to be less than 40 when we go back to green flag racing. And that is going to scatter the middle pack on back on that damage, on how you want to deal with getting that damage repaired.
Yeah, it's going to scatter the field for certain. Like you said, we're coming under here now, under 29 laps to go. And, I mean, we didn't see anyone go into pits yet. Sorry, 40 laps to go. For 40 laps to go. I mean, you did mention 30 laps. You're thinking maybe that's when they're going to get in the window. So we're gonna see right now. I don't see anyone coming down.
No, I'm not expecting people to come down.
There ain't nobody else pitting.
It's going to be one of those things where maybe 10th on back, just to have that slight advantage over the rest of the field. But if you're one of those that come to pit road and you don't have a group coming in together, you're just losing way too much time for this field. It's starting to grid up, ready to get back to racing action here tonight.
Below 25 mile an hour, we'll take it away.
Danny Cochran running 10th. We did talk to him earlier. He said he was going to get back up to the field.
It was completely
we know he's excited. We talked to him. He said he had a line figured out. We haven't really run enough laps for him to probably get to use that line. If this race could stay green, keep talking about it if it can happen. Is he going to be able to get back up there? We made it to 10th. What do you think?
I mean, he certainly is going to try his best. I think he's hoping that I don't talk about it, nor does anyone else, because talk about Tyler Dangler. He was heavily involved that last wreck. Ironically, though, he actually gained position with being involved in that wreck. So crazy to see. Even when you get damaged, you're good to move forward. Danny Cochran's hoping for a good run. A couple of other drivers also inside our top 10. Edward Sherwood Jr. trying to get back into the mix. And Christopher Norris, great run in 38 at this current time. See if he survives the curses. We're back to green flag racing. Shane Darian, best launch so far as Zach Hall sends it down to the corner with his teammate Brian P. Johnson. It is all your top three. Going to be from out of Carolina Reapers. Those teammates are quick, they're fast, and they're trying to hold back Larry Yingling.
Shane all night on a restart. He's had a lot of practice out of him. He's been able to key them up all good all night to be able to take that lead. 32 is just going to hang in there right behind him. Get a little loose coming out of the corner as we're seeing them then stack up 2 by 2 behind still. We do have a car in the wall, 77.
Oh, and more drivers piling in. Issues, Rich Wolfsfer, Brian Noel. And there's another yellow brought into the mix.
He was just a little frustrated.
The field was trying to not get involved with some wrecks, and
you got
no way to not as many collisions after this one, but some contact for Noel as well. 167 for that 56. You're going to be seeing that Richard Wolfsfer 56 machine gets into the outside wall.
They keep wrecking like that. I might get a top 20.
Gets bumped in the rear bumper, contact, and even more taps for the duo bump.
Yeah, we had 2 accidents and 1 right there. We get to bring everyone live. Just bad situation right there. The driver's just hoping to get to the end, and unfortunately just get caught up in that accident. They had good runs going throughout the race, and we're just seeing the caution start to take tolls on everyone. I mean, there might have been maybe 10 cars so far that has not had trouble, and ironically, most of them are probably running in our top 10.
Yeah, they're running in the top 10, and they're going to try to continue on staying out of trouble. Well, quick replay there. Quick little incident that's going to be scattered. The driver's going to be coming into pit road potentially here for deeper in the field. Up front, haven't shown any signs of stops. And it looks like they'll be staying out once again. Again, no signs that pit road is calling for these front runners, except for going to be Cody Reed making a stop for the 52 machine. And a couple of others thinking, hey, we'll follow in suit. Dakota Moniz following in, and this could be those drivers' final stop of the night. And they're going to be having a pretty decent about a 15 lap of green flag racing on tire advantage over the rest of the field that's decided to stay out.
Yeah, we did talk to Cody Reed under a couple cautions ago, and I'm liking that strategy, Sam. Go in, get your tires now. I mean, if we get another caution here and 10 laps and the rest of the field goes in, he might cycle right back to the lead, and then you're talking, there's not too many laps left. He might be in a gap burst.
Can I get a black flag clear for passing under
yellow?
yellow?
The only problem, though, for these drivers that just came to pit road, they're going to be in really the hot seat. They are deep in the field where all this carnage has been happening. It's been tough to make passes because we haven't been green enough to make a lot of moves. We'll see if that fresh rubber is going to enhance these drivers on making some big plays. Well, also want to give a shout out again on our sponsors. They have been incredible the last couple of seasons, and we really appreciate the fact that we have Brandon Colley's mom sponsoring qualifying results for each race. Always hoping for Colley to have a good race. Hasn't happened again here tonight, but qualifying has been an up and down roller coaster, as well as our title sponsor for the WSSR Cup Series being Roasted Gems Coffee. Talked about how they're having a giveaway on their merch for getting a hat from Roasted Gems Coffee, but remember they also have great other merch items to be grabbed and have great coffee to start your day off right. Use the promo code WSSR for 5% off.
No, I think I'm good.
And Trophy Smack. We've talked about the fact that you can get yourself a custom trophy, ring, belt. What's the more? Well, that is your wall smack. Wall smack is a metal plate that you can place your custom image on. That metal plate can be placed in many different places. You can get your current, you can get yourself a stand that's brand new for Trophy Smack that they've been trying to get that wall smack onto. Or you can get the original for them. That's getting their magnet safe wall placement system. Replace the magnet on the wall, safely put the metal plate on, and allows you to show off your wall smack in its full glory. Some of the drivers here at WSSR getting their race wins and getting their winning vehicle a wall smack picture of, so they can show it off in their house. Or you can get different images that you'd like, completely customizable to you, to get your wall smack with.
Just let it go, man. Just let it go.
Smack to use the promo code WSSR Smack to get 10% off on purchase. Justin, it is danger time.
Where are we going?
These cautions kind of ballooning out at this point.
Back on the pace car.
Man, I'm terrified of those drivers in the middle of the field, but if you're up front, gotta be feeling good for yourself. You're going to be tackling on this restart where you're going to feel the most comfortable as we're going to take another lap around of pacing.
We're going to get one more lap here of pacing with the little delay green so they can get the running order going. That's going to give these drivers another lap to get their anxiety built up. They know they want to get back to the racing. They want to get this race going green. These leaders probably want to see us spread out. We did see the times when they had 15, 20 lap green flag runs. We saw some nice action. We saw the top four get really close, and we just haven't had that run yet.
Pretty sure I got better tires than everybody in front of me, so I would love to have some green flag laps here.
It's not going to matter anymore. It's going to be short runs, and you're going to have to...
Even with a broken car.
Go. Get these restarts and get out of there.
Get yourself prepared and ready. What went back, the OC, what delayed that restart, looked like Richard Wolfsfer had a little bit of a slip up that was forcing the yellow having to be extended for an extra lap. So these drivers got another lap in the books, but that means there's one less lap for green flag racing. The drivers know could be very crucial as we're marching to 30 laps to go here tonight. It's been a long one. Drivers know, hey, this isn't over just yet. If you're these top drivers that have been staying out of trouble, because some of these other drivers that have come into pit road, gotten service done, they could be extremely quick on how they blast their way forward with fresh rubber. We'll see how well they can do so. One of those drivers, watch out for 20th position, going to be Brian McCann. Also Danny Cochran. How well can they march through this field? Let's find out. Pace car into pit road. And we are in the restart zone and back to green flag action. Shane Tarian, one of his better launches of the night. Rest of the field. Here we go down in turn number 1.
Shane with the great launch is going to lead the rest of the field to figure out who's going to run second, third, fourth, fifth. As they're staying 2 by 2, looks like Zach Hall will be the first one to clear coming out of the corner. Larry Yingling still on the inside, trying to get around Brian Johnson. And Ross Tatum still hanging strong in 5th. And Christopher Norris, we talked to him earlier, sneaking up there as we got a yellow.
Trouble. It's Ben Keeney who's going to be having issues, it looked like, as he was dropping quickly. And I think it might have been a little bit of a connection problem that spooked some drivers, and it got the field into a yellow. It's kind of a phantom yellow that came out. And as drivers found themselves being spun around on the interior of the corner.
Windshield, I think we need to call it.
Trouble spiking for the 98.
That's literally never even happened.
The connection issues are never fun. When I would be
in the top 20 though.
Sometimes you see these guys disappear and then you don't know where they're going to come back, and it could just lead to a little bit of a tense moment. But luckily we'll get.
I got about half a lap to make a pass.
Laps and see if we can settle this race.
Settle and prepared, and who will survive with 30 laps to go? I think we're going to take our final commercial break of the evening. When we come back, expected to take you to the very end of tonight's race. Who will fight for the win here in New Hampshire as the drivers get set for the final 30 laps?
Hey, Doug, thanks for the light.
Who can survive, or who is going to take that risk for the WSSR Road to Kings Cup Series, race 3 of the season? Will we have a new winner? Could someone come up with that winner already this season? We'll find out when we come back from this.
Hell no. I got spun early on and spent most of the race fixing required and optional damage. It don't drive right. But I got better tires than everybody, so if I can get like 5 green flag laps, I might can get the top 10. 5-10 green laps would be nice. Yeah, I'd like to get to that bottom side too. I just can't. There you go, Brandon.
Pit road is closed.
I do get to start on the inside this time, so I get to see if I can rip that bottom line.
Alright, man, we're going green next time by. Alright, man, line up on the inside row.
They're 5 wide behind the fifth. Oh my, the 5 wide here, this ain't gonna work. They make it last, bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora's still with a shot here, coming off a 4. That's it.
It's bottom line, here it comes. Oh no, Carter gets run. It's gonna be that Nick Crawford. The 74 gets through somehow, and they just completely demolish one another. Driving down low, drifting up, trying to be the stealer.
Get ready.
Connor, he steals it, but he
somehow drove it into the corner to wreck it.
Oh, they wrecked! They wrecked each other. The top 2 bounced into one another. Just too much of side drifting off of, and they got to be careful. Oh no, the 4 demolishes in the 28.
Outside. The leader just did a 4.766. Stay low.
We are green, ladies and gentlemen. Shane Tarian sending it down into turn number 1. And he is looking mighty fast for himself. You hop on board with Brian B. Johnson, trying to make himself as quick as possible. He's trying to rip the box to Larry England to rip on board, trying to make some big moves, and field is starting to feel that anticipation that this could be one of the final restarts of the night, or it's going to cause some more carnage. As you see the hands working, Justin, it's a handful out there, especially in the fact that these drivers have been out there on this same set for the majority of the field for almost 40 laps.
We saw the 67 grab a big handful of that tire, or that wheel, and he was able to clear though, Brian. That was impressive. He's able to drive to third. Now he's going to set his sights on these top 2. We know he has speed. Is he going to be able to make it, move up there and get around these 2 in the final 24 laps? He's going to be hammered down here coming out of turn 3.
Attack mode is
fastest lap with a damn broken car.
making 24 laps.
Who would have ever thought?
Tarian, Zach Hall, the teammates in line, trying to hold back the 3-time champ, Larry Yingling, champion of season 2, 3, and 6, trying to go.
That one guy in the 7 car, oh my God.
Drivers behind her makes a big move, big slide though. Want to be seeing the 7 of Douglas Newbegin sliding away, but watch out for the 2 machine, Danny Cochran, some of the freshest tires of anyone on track. And he's showing why tires are so important as he gets blocked by Ross Tatum.
Yeah, we know Danny's comfortable. We talked to him earlier. He was excited to get back up there. He did it. He's going there to get up there to 7th. Now looking to maybe... Oh, no. We know the 71 and the 2 before had some issue. It was close there, but the 2 might clear him coming out of the corner, Sam.
Trying to stay in control as you saw the 2 really go wide on the inside lane. That's because he was breaking loose. Very similar deja vu moments to seeing the 2 and the 71 side by side. Danny's helping that he doesn't have to clear himself off the nose of that is Sherwood Jr. and almost again as the 71 breaks loose. Other hard racing up front for second place. Larry Yingling trying to make the pass for second place. He needs to make this pass.
I can't get the run off.
It's a chance to battle Shane for the lead.
Both of them are so hard down on the hammer on the gas. They're trying to come out. They're sliding through the corners. You can see the tire marks coming off on him, Sam. The 67, he's going to try and clear him, but the 32 doing everything they can. And he makes slight contact. The 67 still right there. The 32 is going to have to go at him going down the front straightaway.
They might be friends off the track, but on the track currently they're rivals, trying to make some big moves. Larry Yingling trying to get this pass and get himself into a better position. Ying Racing wanting to strike gold here tonight. Larry Yingling wants to get the win, get that confirmation of, all right,
ooh, he about hit me.
Don't have to worry about the rest of the season. But it's a 67 off next to the corner. Big wiggle and shimmy. And just having a car length ahead over Zach Hall, who no longer can defend for now, but almost a bump on the entry, and Zach Hall knows the one mistake, I can be throwing my race away or Larry's.
And one didn't go now. Larry's gotten around him. This is going to be a great battle here with the 9. We know Larry led laps in the beginning. Shane's been our leader for the last probably 50 or 60 laps up there with cautions, but now he's getting close to the end. They're going to be going as best as they can to try and get to these top 2 positions and settle it for the lead.
19 laps to go for Shane Tarian here tonight. The 9 got the pole. He let Larry pass him early on, had to fight Claw to get that lead position back. And for this 9 machine, trying to continue the trend that New Hampshire has brought out the last 2 times they've been here, and the only times they've ran here, get the pole, lead the most laps, and win. The 9 is close on the most laps led. He already got the pole, and the win is how he's hoping to cap off tonight's race. As Ross Tatum battling back for 6th position. He's been hunted and hounded by the 2 machine, and Danny Cochran still can't make the pass. Here comes Douglas Newbegin, the driver that was 3 laps down at one moment this race, now fighting for a chance for a top 5 finish.
3 laps down, fighting for that top 5 finish, putting on a show all night for the viewers. We've seen all the action he's been around as he's going to send it down into that corner and gets it to stick. He's been strong down on that inside line, and now they're going to have to deal with the 21 who's right there in front of them. It's going to be a three-way battle here.
Trying to make some big moves, and Ross Tatum, he's staying just a groove too high and allowing the 7 of Douglas Newbegin run his preferred lane. That's been down almost on the apron, and the 7 almost able to clear. Not close enough, but he'll stand nose to the quarter panel, trying to fight for this position. But we got to move up to the lead because it's underway.
I kind of pinched him off, but
Shane's got to defend over Larry. Larry breaks loose, and Shane holds on to the lead.
Larry does break loose. It's going to give Zach another chance to get close to him, too. So we're going to have a great battle here. The 67 just is getting in the corner so strong. He's getting in there. You see the car breaking loose, like you mentioned, but he's able to still keep it right there with the 9 coming out.
Hold steady. Who can keep this position? Shane Tarian is
shit.
Got one
win. Made it to the finals for a chance for a championship last season. Was one of 5 rookies.
Leaned on a little bit too much there.
The driver that was a veteran was Larry Yingling that fought for that championship. They all fell shy of Benjamin Nelson at the end of the day, but this has been a great rivalry that's been starting to build up as we're watching drivers back and forth. It's been Larry Yingling, Zach Hall, Shane Terry, and our top three really gapping themselves away from Brian B. Johnson. As they close in to 15, soon to be 14 laps to go. They also have some...
Better calm down and just take a top 15 here.
See if that lap traffic is out of the way, or can we even see green to the end of those races?
Yeah, the way they're coming, they're going to catch that one lap car. That could be a chance for Larry or Zach to make a move here on the 9 and get around them, or at least get side by side.
Well, call it, it happens. Isaiah Sutherland finding himself in trouble on the front stretch, and there's the caution. And it's around that time, Justin, where I might have to just take tires. It might be desperation time. You want to get back in the mix.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. We know some guys did pit about 15 laps ago. Those, I would imagine, are not pitting. But if you're in the top 5, how do you give up track position? We know it's been so key all night as we see the 14 what happened to him. Just been involved in the last couple incidents. Just his night has went downhill. Unfortunately, we know he was fast. We know he's going to be fast in the future. Hopefully he'll get everything squared away going forward.
Small little tap. There you go. Sutherland is just, it's been a nightmare type of a night for the 14.
I don't think anybody's pitting.
He'll settle back in 29th position and hope to recover. But man, was that battle ramping up for our top 3 where they wanted to go. Here is the decision time. Do you pit?
Oh.
Do you stay?
What? No, they faking.
Around 10 laps to go once we go.
Hold on, some did go in.
Worth it. For Shane, it's not. For Larry, it is. Pit road for the 67.
Oh, hot dang.
Field deciding to fake it out, not entering pit road as the majority of the field. I feel like that's a terrible call for a lot of drivers, but it's a mixed bag. And I think this is going to get even more fun to watch, Justin, when we go green, because it's about that of 10 drivers staying out, the rest of the field coming in for tires.
Oh, it's going to be fun. We saw it live. We saw Larry go in. I think Larry was hoping everyone else would go in with him so he could restart in the top 5 with those fresh tires. But now he's going to have to work his way through the field. Zach, there's only going to be about 10, maybe 9 laps left. I mean... how are you thinking he's going to get through the field? We know that he's going to have to...
Man, it's going to be a caution fest from here. Ain't no way we're going...
Fresh enough tires. I think that's
what,
going to be
8 green laps?
The 13 dealing with heavy damage. It's
no way.
He's on 17-lap old tires.
Them guys who pitted are screwed.
Lap old tires that Shane and the rest of our top 8 are running with. And then we get the fall. I thought maybe it was going to be our top 10 that stayed out. No, it wasn't. It was a lot more drivers that decided to stay out. Larry Yingling is all the way back to 19th place. He's got Danny Cochran with them as well. They got a lot of work. They want to move forward. And a surprise driver inside of our top 5. Got Christopher Norris here in 4th, and directly behind him, Douglas Newbegin is in 5th place.
Right behind them, Benjamin Nelson, who we know is fast, had the penalty in the beginning. It took him all race maybe to get up here, but he's up here now, and he's going to be putting a show on for us. And we got other guys, Ed Jr., 8th, Johnny Barug, 9th, and Brian McCann, who I believe won the championship you mentioned on Tuesday.
Oh, no. Douglas Newbegin has pulled off into the grass. I think he's having connection issues again.
Steering wheel disconnected.
He's trying to move.
Second time.
He's trying to take off, but he's in a bad angle, now able to take off. That was a scary spot for the 7. When you see a driver just pull off immediately, either his internet or mechanical issues of a wheel issue. Luckily, the 7's able to take off. He's trying to get all those positions back.
Yeah, that means I got to start on the outside.
Justin, for the driver that we just harped on, what a great recovery he just had.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get his spots back, and he's got to get that connection issue figured out going forward, because unfortunately it burned him twice now today. Luckily, he's got the speed. So everything looks like he's going to be in good shape here. He's going to come back to 5th. He's going to be able to battle here with his top 4. We'll see what he has here really shortly as we're going to get going back.
My wheel already disconnected once this race. It caused my whole entire game to crash. So at this rate, I do not care what happened.
No, I'm just not running the camera tonight. I ran it last night.
2 drivers at this time. Whew, here we go.
I didn't put any makeup on tonight. I didn't want to show my face.
Scenarios like this, majority of the drivers up front are on older tires. The first driver on close tires to maybe fight is in 11th with Cedric Hunter. First team that just came into pit road to get tires on this current yellow all the way back in that.
All right, all I got to do is don't self-spin.
Position. It's Larry Yingling and Danny Cochran. They got a lot of work in 9 laps to get up front. But if we get a caution with 5 or less laps to go, we're heading to overtime. Do we need overtime or will we stay green? Here we go. Hampshire 150 is back.
And my internet disconnects.
Terry continues on a great restart, but it's Christopher Norris
still there. Hold your line.
Wow.
Side by side for second place.
And a 9 got such a nice restart. Actually brought the 38 right up there with him. He's going to have a chance here to clear Zach on the outside, and we're going to see what he has. We haven't seen the 38 run up in the top 2, so will he have something different for Shane? We're going to find out really shortly because he's got to go. Not many laps left. We're under 9 to go now.
Zach Bode engaged, and Christopher Norris early gas up in contact. Norris, Zach, hold on, major wiggle. They're going to be 3 wide. No, Ross Tatum, Douglas Newpicking. Contact between them, but they keep it straight. We're still green. 8 laps to go. The chaos is allowing Shane Tarrant just pull away. It's almost 3 wide for the battle for second. Brian P. Johnson's on the fight, but they are scattering 4 wide in the middle of the field.
4 wide.
And we're 3 wide. I didn't know that.
3 wide in the corner. Business is picking up. Everyone wants a spot. The 52 is going to go way up high, trying to get around. 3 cars coming out of the corner. He's got the preferred line.
Still there.
3-4 wide down the straightaway still. Oh, Sam, where are they going to go?
Cedric Hunter's falling back with the driver that's got the freshest rubber now. Going to be creeping forward. Danny Cochran's up to 12th place. Larry Yingling is not been able to move up. And oh no, contact, spin, and it's a big one.
Damn, that's racing there. Whew.
Quickly, it's going to be Benjamin Nelson into the inside pit wall, and drivers.
And we got to do all that again.
For Cedric Hunter.
And this turned into a race.
There's action going everywhere. Cedric Hunter.
I went high, I went low on that backstretch coming out of 2. They got in the wall.
We have cars.
And man, I thought they were going to wad up right there.
Like Larry Yingling did get through.
And that was a good call on my part. I got out of it, but then nobody really wrecked or slowed down. So we were either 3 or 4 wide going into
Pit road is now open.
turn 3, and I was on the bottom. I just couldn't get on the throttle down there. If I could have cleared that white car and got out in front of those 2 cars on my right side, that would have been a pretty good spot to sit in.
Then everyone else just having issues, and here the madness. The drivers are scattering. They're trying to make some big moves, and they're going to be going into madness. But it's the driver in front of them is going to be the 79, Benjamin Nelson. He's going to slide, and it'll causes everyone to just slam on their brakes.
Hell yeah, it was crazy.
It's going well.
It's 1 minute 6, and then hard contact, and oh my goodness, what a violent hit with Sutherland.
There was action every straightaway.
Yeah, that was the big one. We see that at Daytona Talladega, but now we see it here at Loudon, New Hampshire. And these drivers, you're getting down to the end. They want every spot. They're not willing to give any more inches. As we're going to see right here, I think the 38 even got loose coming out of the corner. Maybe that started some trouble too.
He had the position when the yellow flag came out.
Zach Cole, Christopher Norris, they were beating off one another.
I don't even remember which one you're talking about. I think I was going for most of that.
We saw the potential driver than everyone else see the smoke and the chaos of the
somebody got in the wall. I think that's the one you're talking about. Somebody got in the wall, and I checked up, and I was making sure everybody behind me was checking up. And then one guy, I saw the mirror was just barreling down into me in turn 1, and I was hoping he wouldn't hit me. But yeah, a lot of close calls.
I mean, there's just so much happening there. It's late in the race. Drivers got fresh tires. First,
now I got to be on the outside again.
Some big moves if they can. And also, hope your drivers are going to make some mistakes, and you're going to see.
I'm just happy to be back in the top 10.
Goes up, down on the apron, fighting for this positioning, and then just out of nowhere, see you down into the apron, into the grass, scattering, and then Cedric Hunter, innocent victim, and then whoop, onto the roof. That's not what you want to see out of your windshield.
Your TV is not broken. That is the actual view that Cedric Hunter is seeing right now. And we see quickly tows. That was a smart thing though, Sam. Quick tow, get back as fast as you can. Hopefully get back out on track. Every second saves. You never know. Get some positions from other guys that are lapped down.
Timing of that caution was on lap 144.
All these guys in front of me.
Around 5 laps. We could be seeing our
old tires.
Race regulation, green and white checker.
A lot of new tires. Very close to me, so.
If that's the case. It's going to be simple.
A little green white checker here.
We'll officially wait to see if we get this in race.
I just want top 10. That's all I want.
Very close. Again, with 5 or less laps.
That's a win in my book after what I've been through.
Sometimes they grace it and just push it over, but it looks like we're having an in-race, in-regulation green-white checkered, so it's simple.
Guy that wrecked me for the first time is behind me, so
Green. If we cross the line,
I think they got three green-white checkers.
It's official. This race is done. It's all about who crosses the line first. But if a caution...
Number 71, Ed's the one that took me out the first time. Hopefully he don't do it again.
I think that might have been my fault.
Apparently he's a wrecker. I don't know all the people in this league, but I heard somebody else call him out as being a wrecker, so...
For this restart.
Well, final thought is, you want to survive. Hopefully no more cautions. We're going to get 3 laps here, and we're going to see. I do want to point out Johnny Brugg. I know he's fast. He hasn't been up there yet this race, not due to anything other than probably just bad timing with cautions and being involved in certain situations. But we're getting ready to go back green here. It's going to be interesting with the top 6 drivers here.
It's going to be very interesting. Danny Cochran, Larry Eaglin, they're back in 12th and 13th. They need some more restart attempts. But up front, green flag is in the
Damn, that was close.
Restart of the night. Shane Terrian getting a good launch. He's going to be clear. Everyone else, they got 2 wide, 3 wide. Cody Reed shipping it down low. They're going to be staying 3 wide, battling back for 8th place. But up front, it's all the 9 of Shane Terrian, and they're already spinning. They keep it straight somehow. We stay green, even with all the smoke. And for Shane Terrian, he only wants to see is that white flag, and then we will be seeing this race become official. Still side-by-side racing. Deeper in the field, they're hoping that they don't wreck or scatter into anyone else. Exit of turn 4. White flag in hand. This is your Roasted Gems white flag.
Damn, I had to wheel the crap out of that.
Down into turn number 1. Justin, this was it. They stay in regulation time.
Shane is seeing everything he wants. They're 2 by 2 behind him. Shane's got a good 2-3 car length lead as he sends it down into 3 and 4. He's got one more heavy braking corner.
Had to wheel the shit out of that too.
Flag waving.
7th, I'll take it.
At moments, you thought Shane Terrian maybe wasn't going to be there. Wasn't going to have the speed that was.
Finished in front of the wrecker and everything.
It was good enough. Exit of 4. They're smoking behind, but the 9 gets the win here tonight. Congratulations to Shane Terrian as the rest of the field still trying to find a way to cross the line because they are wrecking out of 4. But Justin, Shane Terrian got the pole, close to the most laps led, and wins the race. The trend continues here at New Hampshire.
Oh wait, that's 6. Even better.
Friend until the trend becomes not your friend. But tonight it worked out for Shane. He dominated the restarts. He did everything he had to do. Every restart was perfect. He never went into the corner really under battle from anyone behind him, which is what you want on every.
Hell yeah, I never would have expected that.
Brian Johnson, another great finish. He's the points leader we mentioned.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Very well.
Doing great to stay up front and confident.
I don't even remember what lap I wrecked on.
You didn't know if that late run was going to be close enough, and the great passes, the timing of the yellows, and Shane Terrian gets to burn it down here.
It's really easy to find the damage though.
Smoke show. As we will step away when we come back, we're going to be talking to our top 3 and maybe a spotlight driver get their thoughts on tonight's race. It was a crazy one. It was hectic, but congratulations to Shane Terrian. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Let's see who's at fault here. Dude, he swung up real high and just came back down and got me. I didn't move off my line. Look at the white line. If anything, I was going down lower on the track. So I'm going down lower, cross over the white line there, and he just comes down and clips me. He was up in the 3rd lane and then comes down and clips me. Now I see why they call him a wrecker. Oh yeah. Hell, he threw that fishing rod out and hooked me. Good old Ed. Now let's go back and watch that finish. Where was all that chaos at? Here's where my internet blinked out. That was a little scary. That's Zach Hall getting loose up there. 3 wide. Then into the wall. Wow. And then something happens here. Oh, that black car came and hit that 7. And that's where I saw that happen, and I just went low because I thought they were going to just wad it up right there coming out of 2 and bounce off the wall. And I was clear on the bottom side, so I'm like, yeah, I'll see you later. Damn, it was 4 wide. Right here, it was 4 wide, but then it went 3. And we're 3 wide entering here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series.
Almost 4 wide with that 52.
It was a madhouse, but ultimately it was Shane Tarian coming away with the pole, the win, and he's got to be enjoying this one as we head to victory.
I didn't realize we were 3 wide there, and I was pinching him.
Shane Tarian. Shane, congratulations on this win, man. How are you feeling? Because it looked like a grueler from up here in the booth.
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'll take a somewhat of a Mickey Mouse win because of all the yellows, but it feels good. It's my home track. It feels nice to have a win. It's been a rough couple months. So yeah, this is great. This is awesome.
Shane is Justin up in the booth. Nothing better than winning at your hometown track. Always got to feel great.
I got to spin it back around here.
Let's talk about next week, because tonight you were killing it on every restart. Every restart you were gapping all the cars. Now next week, I don't think there'll be any restarts at the road course. So what's in store for next week? What's going to be your strategy?
Well, next week's a road course.
Back to back.
Oh.
And then the 32 and the...
I'm just going to shoot for a top 10. Maybe top 5 if I'm lucky. But
yeah, it ain't easy in this car.
So you have your teammates 1, 2, and 4 the entirety of those restarts.
Who's the 38? 30.
Yeah, next week.
Oh, that's Christopher Norris. Those are teammates.
I don't know.
So Zach Hall and 38, I know those are teammates. So 32 goes under the 38, gets loose,
Looking at the pace from
washes up into him, and then knocks the 79 off the track.
We looked at the trends of past races. It looked like the driver that got the pole was most likely going to win.
Wow.
That's something that ever crossed your mind of, okay, I got the pole. This is
6th place. I'll take it.
A really good chance.
And
this race here tonight.
I'm out. Y'all have a good one.
Sure. Especially because I haven't qualified well in